always under pressure, feeling like I'm slipping under. I think I'm gonna go insane, yeah. Got everybody watching, I can feel all of the judgment. I gotta find a new escape, yeah. I'm better when the lights go down and I'm feeling free undercover. I'm better when the lights go down and I'm feeling me undercover. Feeling me undercover. Staying deep inside, I'll keep it. I got nothing to hide, but people wanna judge me anyway, yeah. I'm so done, no one gonna change me, so alright. I'ma be my favorite person, even if it's for a day, yeah. I'm better when the lights go down and I'm feeling free undercover. I'm better when the lights go down and I'm feeling me undercover. I'm better when the lights go down and I'm feeling free undercover. I'm better when the lights go down and I'm feeling me undercover. Feeling me undercover.
What is this? Now I done traveled way too many miles to turn around to be a slave again. When they took the chains off, I had faith again. Now I'm bruised and confused, guess what state I'm in? I just kicked the door down, oh now I'm breaking in. Man, that proclaim up, I won't be no victim. They will not break me, I'm breaking the system. I was much bolder when shit got too rocky. I'm breaking these walls down and you cannot stop me. I got the juice, I got the tools, I got the moves. I gotta go in this bitch like I ain't got nothing to lose. I got the juice, I got the tools, I got the moves. It's time to turn it up, oh now we breaking the rules. I got the juice, I got the tools, I got the moves. I gotta get in my zone in order to get to the truth. I got the juice, I got the tools, I got the moves. I got the move. They wanna take the air from out my lungs so that I can never breathe again. Lock me up in the cage with some hooligans. I refuse to be abused over foolishness. Another man lost his life. Are you viewing this? How come the outcome is death or destruction? Murder or mayhem with no repercussions. That's my new normal. I'll fight for my freedom and lay down my life. It's on sight when I see them. I got the tools, I got the moves. I gotta go in this bitch like I ain't got nothing to lose. I got the juice, I got the tools, I got the moves. It's time to turn it up, oh now we breaking the rules. I got the juice, I got the tools, I got the moves. I gotta get in my zone in order to get to the truth. I got the juice, I got the tools, I got the moves. I am more than capable. I am unbreakable. 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 I am unbreakable.
Let's go, baby. We are about to be live with the very first episode of the summer split for Titan Divinity League Divine Proclamations. As always, it's your boy Goose, joined by Twitterless Yanks and the notorious TLP. Doug, we're about to break down the madness and chaos that has ensued. My guys, what's going on?
Not much. Just chilling on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, watching some LCS and about to talk smack about Divinity League players.
Yeah, dog. Actually, I'm like a huge fan of like LCS, but I'm saying fuck the script writers for infringing upon for infringing. They knew we was trying to set up something special here. They knew what we was on. All right, but no, definitely. Uh, but we got this. We got this. We're talking. You said you're gonna trash talk the Divinity League players today.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I can't wait to get into this. I look forward to just wrapping up the regular season, talking about all our favorite teams. I don't know if I'm gonna keep on simping over DOG or if I've got a new favorite, but I can't wait to dive into it. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, they've been looking a little rough lately, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that. TLP, let's go. How you living today?
Just trying to make sure the power and the internet doesn't go out midstream.
Oh
Storming
yeah,
down
because
here
you
in
got
Florida.
the storms down there. Oh god, down in yo, do you what's like? Well, maybe we'll get into that later too. I want to know like if you have like a Florida man story, or if you're the Florida man.
I am Divinity's Florida man. I am
Very
Divinity's
own Florida man, Twitterless Yanks,
I mean,
Goose. But yeah, Doug, we're gonna dive into this in just a second. But I just want to give all of those people out there listening, be active in the chat. Yo, I'm gonna be watching the chat all the time. So if you have questions or things that you want us to kind of cover in this first episode of the Divine Proclamations, let us know because we want to have your input as well. Also, before we start, a big shout out to Fort, holding it down on the production side. He's the mastermind behind doing all the transitions as well. But I want to get right into it, right? Because like you even mentioned like you're not you were a big DOG stan, right? Dorado Gaming, Kai, you were a big stan of them, and now you're saying that it might switch, and it might be due to like the standings. The standings have completely switched. Like the like TDA is on the rise. DOG and BDA. No, sorry about that, TLP, but y'all are on like y'all not looking too hot right now. The Reapers crew just picked up a win last week. Like Jesus Juice holding it down. Like finally getting some support on the carry teams. Oasis Maelstrom and I Goat or Pixel Haven, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna call him I Goat the entire time. I'm sorry, but like right, they're like all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, right now there was a complete twister 180 in the match results or standings at the end of the season. Definitely a lot of teams showed up, 1, 2, 3 that I personally did not expect. With the two teams being ejected from the league, basically everybody makes it in, which I think is, benefited to the 7-8, sorry BDE, but yeah, I think it was a huge shakeup, and we should definitely start with DOG. I am officially withdrawing my simping rights. I'm done.
Oh,
I'm done.
Adrian's not gonna be too happy about that, dog. You're gonna if they come back and like just Smurf playoffs, dog. You're not gonna hear the end of it. You're not gonna hear the end of it. They're gonna add you in all those another easy win for Dorado Gaming. You're gonna get added in all of those.
I'll take that. I'll take those.
What's your thoughts on DOG Dorado Gaming Kai so far, TLP? Do you think that this fall will continue? Do you think this fall from Grace will continue in the playoffs, or do you think that it's just like they've just been like messing around these past few weeks?
I think it's the phrase of Summer Divinity right now, roster issue. I think, between
All
having
right.
bringing subs towards the back end and stuff like that, I think I mean, anything roster related has been the deciding factor, I think, in this summer. I think a lot of teams have been fluctuating a lot, so it's been kind of tough to gauge, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, it's with all the roster
Mhm.
issues. I mean,
That makes sense though, because like people are like hella busy, right? Like I think BDE's a whole new team now. What TD Afterbank is a whole new team now.
Yeah, but
I,
real quick though,
so
like real quick. So like I
uh,
get it, you're like quote unquote putting an excuse on some of the teams. Like, I saw a lot of people switching stuff up, and I'll give some of the teams that, but DOG, they only had one sub for this past week, and it was the top lane, Kibito. He was Solace was not playing. Everybody else on the team on their standard picks, Gumbers, Efron, everybody, and they got 2-0'd by the Reapers crew who was in last place. I'm
Jules,
sorry,
let's
but with
go, baby.
with with one sub, Kabito, now your carry from Efron, your carry from Patrol if he's playing, he played Kaisa a game. He played what else is it? Um the
That's in Zaya.
Zaya,
He played
Zaya, yeah,
Zaya.
yeah, yeah. Like we're not talking about the Ash picks. We're not talking about those, standard. Let's play utility. They got wrecked by the worst team in the league. So I mean, you gotta. There's excuse there, like, hey, yeah, I have 4 subs today, so it is what it is. And then there's getting wrecked by the last team in the league, and don't put it on Kabito for losing it for you.
No, I don't disagree with you.
Jesus Juice, and also Silent Sleeper Raining Wolves did Smurf in the game where they like Trundle, and like between the two of them they went like 15-2, and like obviously just had to Smurf all over the jungle. Like I got like a lot of respect for DLG, but also like you said, like that, like
Jesus
like
Juice is the
Silas can't be the
truth.
whole team. Yeah, no, I am. I hope that TRC makes a deep run. I've always been and always will be a stan of underdogs. And like they're like on the rise now. They got a little momentum going into playoffs. I'm like excited for that.
Well, here's the question though with Reaper's crew. How much do you think of it was, like that weight off their shoulders, like, hey, we made playoffs because of the comp ruling? How much do you think is like they're playing a little bit more carefree, so they were able to, to really play a lot better? What do you think?
Like I mean, I feel like getting into playoffs, like knowing you're in playoffs, would actually probably make me play a bit more lax. So it's like, and like the thing is, like they won that game and they're still in last place. Like they didn't like they had literally nothing on the line. Like they weren't gonna move from last place with that game. So I don't think that it has anything to do with getting in playoffs. I think that they are just a team that like will fight regardless. Like the thing is, like they've been they've been losing, but they haven't been like getting stomped. I think maybe like a few weeks they did get stomped, but like they've been putting up valiant efforts. They've been putting up good fights. And like I think that's just like a testament to their mental. Like that, like to go the entire season and really only win like maybe I think they got like the 2 forfeit series from like the other people, and then like this one. To like even just still remain in the league and like show up. Like they don't like you don't hear people you've never like the thing is also you've never heard anything about TRC like complaining and banter. You've never seen like them like show up late to a game or like be on vacation and like complain about not having like you don't hear no complaints coming out of them the entire season, and they show up every week and they fight. Like that's respectable. That's hella respectable.
Yeah, facts, big facts.
But all right, but like speaking of like the change in the rosters, and I think what is like on the headline for this like Divinity shakeup right now is like the rise of TDA. Right? The like TDA was like kind of middle tier. Convey's crew was like kind of middle tier, and now it's like not even Convey's crew anymore. Right now it's like it's what is it now? TD Afterbank I think is like the like nickname that's been given to them, or that they've given to themselves. But like this whole new squad is like coming to Divinity in the last 2 weeks. They've like just put on a tear. Who do they beat? They beat Off Dazah, who we thought were like the Titans. Like I assume offense I was going into the split like and like playoffs like just clean, and then TD Aftermath comes in at 2-0, right? Like they got Sejuani Baby Daddy in the jungle, Kaithal now. I'm not sure who the remain. There's like one remaining member from the
And
original one.
yeah, Kaithal and I think TDK were the only two that actually remained from that roster. And
I don't even think TDK is playing anymore. I think it's Dyer now.
Oh, they got rid of.
um,
Oh, that's news to me. I mean, TDK. I mean, aside from Dread Baron, for me was probably is one of the best ADCs in the league. I mean, you put that man on Zeri, whether or not the champion gets nerfed. I mean, he's making plays, and it's because of the mechanics of the champion, which we see in high level play, and I think that it can definitely happen in the gold league that we're in. So him not being on the team definitely, I think, would change it up. And Convey being subbed out, subbed or swapped starter with Sejuani Baby Daddy. Assuming, you know, God forbid any issues like we had a few weeks ago, if he's playing, they're a solid team, and I'm curious as to how Dyer is going to do instead of TDK.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
So, and you even mentioned like Convey not playing the team. Convey's like not completely removed, right? He's still available. He did play against you, TLP, in the jungle. Actually, let's actually break that down a little bit, right? Because you, TLP, being the jungler for BDE, and we'll probably touch on them a little bit too, right? The we got to at least talk about the defending champions. At some point, right? But like, let's even, what was it like? Like, what's the difference between, would you say, like, what's playing against Sejuani Baby Daddy versus like playing against Convey, right? Is there like a huge difference, right? Convey, I'm not gonna lie, Convey came in and kind of just like took over in that and those last two games. But like, is there a huge difference, do you think, between Sejuani and Baby Daddy, or like they about the same and like it was kind of just like the roll of the die?
I'm gonna be honest. I think it was a combination of the two. I think Convey is probably a more proactive and a lot more vocal in terms of his what he plans on doing. I don't know the comps, but it felt like Convey's role in the team was a lot different than what Sedge Baby Daddy is. Because I feel like they were a lot cleaner in my opinion. TD Afterbank was a lot cleaner with Convey and I think his role was a lot different in how he plays the game. But I don't know. I think also like with them, I just don't know how much of it is them being able to slot out the players and it be seamless, or it's just the fact that I think Convey is just overall his role in the team. I think his champion pool was probably not similar, but I think just a lot better into mine and basically how he plays. And I think Convey probably also more experience, in my opinion, just from what I saw. I don't know the experience difference, but it just seems that Convey just slotted in a lot better for the lanes that he had.
From looking at it from excuse me, the streamer caster standpoint, it looked like, I believe that was Sejuani Baby Daddy, his first game starting, or first set starting, if I'm right. And it looked like he had some of those nerves that you would get when you first start a league or first get into a game. You're a little like your heart rate's going. It looked like that in his gameplay. And when he got subbed out for his emergency, it looked like Convey came in and it looked like he was playing to prove a point. He was being proactive on the map. He was ganking. He was carrying that game or enabling his teammates to carry the game. And I
Mhm.
think he basically was like, let's show the league because we're streamed, and let's show everybody else what we've got, what we're gonna do. So it definitely looked like that in the gameplay. And then I believe then the following week, TDA, I believe they beat
Off
off
the
the Za, and Sejuani Baby Daddy was in there, and I believe he had a very solid performance as well.
Clean. Yeah, he played the Trundle and he played the Poppy.
Yeah.
Poppy 7-0. 7-0, 9 assists, like untouched. They looked really clean on paper, I guess, right? I didn't get to, oh wait, no, they were streamed actually. I think they were also streamed, and I think I did get a chance to check out those games as well. And it was just, I was like, yo, this doesn't even look like the off the Za team, but also it doesn't look like the TD aftermath team that we saw. But I didn't have like high hopes for Sejuani Baby Dad after that first game, right? That you kind of gapped him on the Olaf. But like after seeing these, I was like, oh, they're kind of a force. They're kind of a force. I don't know if I can stand him as much as I've been standing Convey, dog. I a big fan of Convey, and it makes sense that he would come in and like change the game because he is like the captain of the team. And I'm assuming that you don't just like, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just like a contact role, but like, I think like even like being in charge a little bit gives you a little bit of a leadership, both on and off the rift, especially in that jungle position. That is completely just broken right now. It's completely overpowered. But yeah, dog, I'm excited to see what they can do in the playoffs. I'm excited also to see what DLG does as well, even though we're not like simping them anymore. Um, I think I think I wanna switch to like maybe like one more team before, and then I think I want to get your opinions on like some players actually, like specific players. But I want to talk about big damage energy, right? And I only want to talk about them for a little bit because I know that we can like kind of get carried away because all of us were former members of BDE, some of us current members of BDE, right? But they are coming in as the defending champions in playoffs, currently seventh seed. Like we're like number one for like the first half of the season. We're number one for the first half of the season, and then what happened, right? And I'm not gonna say like this was like the catalyst, but their coach resigned Dogman resigned, and I think from there, and like you can either agree with me or disagree with me, TLP. From there, it seemed like there was a little bit of confusion in both like decision making before the game even started, right? Like draft kind of looked like a little weird. There was like one game that you played maybe a few weeks ago where pretty much the only thing that was commented was like, "Where's the damage?" Right? I think it was like a Malzahar and like some other like a Ash, and like it was just like, "Where's the damage?" And then like on the Rift, I think some of the decision making, right, with you swapped roles 3 times. Like you played top support, jungle. Like I'm just waiting for you to pick up Callista mid so you can play ADC and mid at the same time and just say you played all the roles, right? Like it's been a lot of switch ups
MVP for all the roles.
yeah, dog, and I want to talk about that too, but right, like where does this team kind of lie in terms of actual strength now that we have the new TD Aftermath, we have Dorado and Alcazar showing that they have weaknesses. Oasis, Maelstrom, and TA Crab Wranglers. I would say maybe the most consistent team. Actually, I think is probably Team Ambition, and that's not saying they're the best. I'm saying they're the most consistent. It's like I can consistently kind of predict whether or not they win the games they're supposed to win, they lose the games they're not supposed to win. But like, where does BDE actually fall? Do you think that 7th place is like a rightful kind of standing for like the actual caliber of the team, or do you think that it's actually like again like back to those roster issues, right? The story of the league. Do you think it's back to those roster issues that are like really troubling them? What do you actually? I'm gonna. Sorry, TLP, just because I want to get Yanks' opinion first on this one. Like Yanks, what do you think? Do you think BDE actually deserves 7th place, or do you think they deserve more?
I truthfully still friends with everyone on the team. I truthfully believe with the whole issue with roster changes, coach changes, people quitting, people leaving, swapping. I think if it's still a 10-man league, I don't think they scrape in. I think they are 9 or 10. I think BDE benefited from a 2-man or 2-team ejection. So top 8, everybody makes it in. That being said, no flame to the former team. I think that is going to motivate them though, because from what I see on my end, watching, spectating, looking at different things, looking at who's playing with who and who's doing what. I think the team is my sleeper for the playoffs. So I think they're going to make a run. I think they're going to pull an EG. But I think if it was a 10-man or 10-team league, I don't think they make it in with what the whole impact of everything that happened to the team as a whole. That being said, though, TLP, MVP in 3 different roles. You got top jungle support. You've got Dread Baron, who arguably, in my mind, is tied. Some days he might be second, some days he might be first as best ADC in the league. If ISO wasn't, on hiatus with, his family stuff and moving, arguably probably the best top in the league. So, aside from TLP, I really think this team was hurt by the roster changes and everything, and they are definitely my sleeper for the playoffs.
So we got a little dark horse going on, and I'm actually going to use that to like I'm going to use what you just said to kind of segue into this next part, right? I think we got a quick overview. We're not going to be able to cover all the teams right now, but like we'll touch on them as a little bit. But I want to start talking about like specific players, right? You're talking about like TLP being MVP in like 3 different roles, and talking about like ISO kind of being like the best top laner. And I want to even start. Let's like through the positions, and like I just want to hear your opinions on like who are like the contenders, like who would possibly in contention for like all-star like top laner, all-star jungle, and all-star mid. And I'm assuming that ISO will be one for you, but like I think for me, I'm like I gotta be Team Solace, dog. I like Solace has come into every game and like I kind of count Team Ambition out, and then all of a sudden he pulls off like some kind of miracle like play. Like I remember watching him play like Poppy, like and like pretty much single handedly won like a Baron fight by like knocking out a carry and stuff like that. But I think Solace has been like a core part of the team, and I don't think him being absent this past week is an excuse for them to not. Oh wait, I'm thinking of Dorado Gaming, right? Yeah, I'm thinking of Dorado
Alice
Gaming.
is
That's
the OG.
Ambition. I don't think him being absent is like an excuse for them to be like performing poorly. Because I think between like the coaching staff and like their organization in general, they should have enough like resources to like still be performing well without one player, right? It should not be a one-man team over at DOG. But I'm like, I gotta go like Solace as like my top lane, like my top lane pick for like if I had to like that's what I'm thinking, like best top laner. Like I think maybe like a close second might be like
I would have to say, before you even say like a close second, I would have to argue like taking TLP out of it because of his like not enough games played. I think that you're hard pressed thinking like you think you're missing Kythal, you're missing Kobe. Like Solace is solid. Don't get me wrong. I did an interview with him. He carried that one game as Poppy, but aside from that, like he's been above mediocre, not like stellar carry. Okay, great. You know, if he doesn't get his Aatrox, it is what it is. But Kythal carrying games, you got Kobe carrying games when Oftazah shows up to play. You know, so I think that not a solid like by himself. Solaces, I definitely think that there's argument for the other two to be up there above him. Um,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
agree
know.
with you.
Yeah, I was gonna say TLP. What do you think? You're the top laner. You've probably played against these guys.
I will be honest. Keithel is it for me. I think Keithel top lane is probably one of the most consistent members on TD after Bank. I think he has shown that he can play a variety of different things. I mean, he's also a fellow Orn, simp. He's part of Orn Hub.
There's so many of you out there. It's crazy.
Yeah, the Orn's followers. He's one of them, and I think he's just overall. I think he's just a solid rock. He's a foundational piece of that team. He's consistent. You know what you're going to get out of him. He's a pivotal role to the strength of that team. I think Keithel is huge. I think he's more consistent than Solus, in my opinion.
That's
So
I mean, I definitely think I like no shade to Kaithal. I think Kaithal is an incredible player, but like I don't think Kaithal has really played most of the season like in that role, right? Unless there was a name change that I kind of just don't know about, right? Before kind of the roster changes, right? They had both Infernus and they had Ikazuchi. So unless Ikazuchi is Kaithal in disguise, like I don't like really see that.
Let's not claim anybody else's account sharing out there. We're not making any claims on this podcast.
nah, Keithel and Nikazuchi are two different people. I can't confirm
Yeah,
that.
let's not get anybody else coupled on the podcast, right? But all right, so we got Kaithal. I'm gonna throw Silas in there. I was gonna throw in one other name, but I'm like scared which I might even say about that, right? But we also got I think ISO, and then I think TLP. You had mentioned like somebody else as well, like kind of in that like range of top.
I
All
think
right, but I want to
close.
go ahead.
I think it's close between Downfall and
Yay! What? Like, how are we not mentioning Downfall? Like, how is that name
Downfall
not
and Kobe.
like?
I think play the same role for their teams. They are
Yeah,
they're
they're
split
like
push threats, but they also can play those team fighters as well. I think those two like it's tough because that clump, the top four for that group in top lane, it's like I think there's a significant gap between like those four and then the rest of the league. Like
I
I
think that's
definitely
the problem with the league, though, is like you have so many people that haven't consistently played. Like I could probably, on one hand, say this person has played every game for their team. Like there's just been so many shakeups. It's like if you tag a minimum amount of games, half the league is gone. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
if you're looking at Trisco, I only played the beginning of the season. He's out of contention. ISO's out of contention. You look at DOG, they subbed a few people each week. They're out of contention. ODZ, that they forfeited games, so they didn't even play some games. So they're, it's one of those things like you have to I guess you have to take it with a grain of salt in terms of how many games they played and what they did when they played them.
I feel on that one. It's like I think someone has even put that in like the Discord. They were like, "Can we like?" And Sam's right away did it too. Shout out to the Sims app because those stats are fire. But like Sims like made it so that you can sort by like you had to play at least 3 games to actually get those stats and see what they look like. Because there were like a lot of inflation, like one hit wonders on that sheet. But I want to switch to like what I think has been one of the roles that like has been the most consistent. Right, a lot of the players have played most of the games for their team, and that's going to be the jungle role. And there are like 3 names that come to my mind instantly, but I want to hear like TLP. I want to hear your take right on like who is a standout jungler in the league, right? And like you, we obviously we won't say you just because of the like your old office crazy, but we won't say you. But like who's like your standout jungler, right? If you had like if we decided to do like an all-star draft, like and you were a team captain, who is your first round draft pick for jungle?
Oh, for jungle? Ah, that's tough. Because I mean, obviously, I've been simping Jesus juice all season, but I'm gonna be honest, singular bread.
Singular bread. All right, that was not
Only
the
because that's only because he took Orange Jungle. I have
Nah,
zero respect
nah.
for that pick. Zero respect.
The Jordan goal, you don't respect it? What?
Absolutely not. If you're not taking Gumbers or KKTI, then you're not trying to
yeah,
win.
dog. I was like
You're not trying to
KKTI by
win.
a mile.
Like in all seriousness, those two, if you're not taking them first pick, you're not trying to win.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. The
Yeah,
only other person I would think was Caius. Caius Cosades from Oasis.
it's wild, Tio. I think I gotta side with Yanks on this one. If you don't, did you see KKTI's Lisa in game? Have you seen Gumbers Diana? Like, are you kidding me, dog?
Yep.
Sway. Oh my god, yeah. I think you got a little bit of friendship bias over there,
Yeah,
dog. You got the
it's not even friendship bias. It's just the fact that that dude played Ornn and actually did well on it. Like no troll did well on it. But come on, like
Nah,
no offense to Singular Bread, good guy or whatever. But come on,
I know, like I've seen enough, like, and he's like the most consistent member. I think one of the most consistent members on his team. He's not. He plays that role. He plays the engage. He's definitely judging from his champ pool. He's definitely like what is he dictates the early game for his team. So I think it's respectful. I think you need a player like him on your team where he's not afraid to play the engage. He's not afraid to, and he definitely seems to be like he's just consistent in my opinion. It's not necessarily the Orn pick or anything like that. I just think he's consistent. Um, yeah, he's consistent.
All right, we just dipped out a little bit, but we back, baby. I think I'm gonna be ranting over here too. But yeah, I can respect like the like
I think
consistent like
I just want to put one last point, like Resurrect said in chat, and I like kind of like counter him, but I agree with his point. If you played more games, like, and I'm gonna, obviously praise TLP here because he's not gonna do it himself. If he played the whole season as BDE's jungler, I mean, the dude is drawing bans on Olaf, Heckram, I'm sorry for helping the other team who you're playing tomorrow, TLP, but like you're drawing all those bans and facilitating your team, depending on your stats for the whole season, I would definitely say top three, absolutely. Obviously with Gumbers and KKTI, can't give it to you because you didn't play enough games on any of your roles, but I mean you're definitely right now depending on how the playoffs go, you could potentially look at like, playoff MVP because you facilitate your team in that way, like KKTI and Gumbers, in my opinion.
I am coming for playoff MVP. Just know that
Boom. You heard it here, folks. Clip it.
I'm
let's
coming for it.
let's switch to because I feel like there are so many good junglers in the league. Honestly, I think um I definitely think there's maybe one jungler that's a little bit a cut above the rest, and I'm going to go with KKTI on this one. Like that's going to be my first round pick. But I think there's so many good junglers that we could talk about this forever. So I want to switch. We're gonna keep going down, just straight down the lanes as like you normally would, right? Get in. What is it called? What do we call it all the time? Like pro select, pro LCS order. Is that what it's called? We're gonna
Oh
do
yeah,
LCS order.
yeah, yeah.
uh, and go. Let's go to the mid lane, right? We got some pretty impressive mid laners. Um, I think mid laners have been a little bit of the. It's like some weeks all of the mids are great, and then some weeks all of the mids like are like non-existent. In like my opinion. But who? Let's even go towards you. I have somebody in my mind that I'm thinking of, but like, who would you go for if you're like? And I think it's mine is actually a team that we haven't really talked about much yet. Oh my god, that's also the junk. Anyway, all right, mid lane. What do you think, Yanks? Who's your first round on your draft off their team? Mid lane as of now.
I'm either going with Efron or the Forgotten One. Efron, he's got a solid Ari, his Victor, Yone, solid picks. You can work around it as a jungler, so that way you can facilitate, the ganks. Can carry on many champions. Forgotten One, pretty much the same thing. They've got carry potential. You set them up right. If their jungler's ganking for them, if they're playing like in the right team comp, if the coach is setting them up properly, both of those people can carry any game and would be on my ballot for first team. I'd have to like check to see which one it'd be. One, two, but it'd definitely be one of those.
No, I say
So either the
Volti.
Forgotten One or yeah, dog. That's what I was gonna say. I was 100%
Like,
going with Volty.
yo,
I
Volti.
was 100% going with the Volty. I think go ahead, TLP though. Why are you picking Volty?
I don't know, man. Like when he's in, he's in. And like they were like, if I remember correctly, I don't think he was playing when they had that midseason slump. But I think Volti has been performing well. I think he's playing like a cut above like what we saw, for example, last season in spring. This is a different Volti. Volti, I think, is like Volti unleashed right now. I think Volti's playing incredibly well. I think he's playing consistent. It's just a shame that if it goes to game 3, he's not there. So I'm just concerned. I'm concerned with how playoffs are going to look now. Because think
It's
about
like
it,
if you
these are
can.
best of 5s now.
Yep.
True. Oh, true. Yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing though. So okay, I pose a question to you, both of you. If you've got somebody who, and they've talked about this on the dive and on like actual LCS, if you got somebody that can one trick, one champion, the best in the world, are you going to take that one person? He'll draw bans on it, or are you going to take somebody who can play 10 different champions at a master level? It's the same thing here. Are you going to take somebody who can only play 2 games, but you're probably going to, and I'll quotation mark, probably win those 2 games? Or are you going to play somebody that consistently can play 5 games if it goes to 5? Like what is it that you're going to take in that situation?
I'm gonna be honest. I'd use
So
like if in that instance, I use Volti for scouting, just so IQ of a coconut can get an eye and just kind of see how the enemy mid laner plays. Just use Volti for scouting if you're worried about that. That's just what I would do.
yeah, I think I'm gonna have to stick with that one too. I think if I can get like a almost guaranteed 2 wins in a best of 5, if I can't win that third game, like if I can't win that third game in 3 tries, then like we didn't deserve to be there in the first place, right? Like if like whoever I put in after that, right, like just doesn't perform well enough, and one of the last 3, like you just gotta be like above average at best in one of those last 3 games to like win the series. Like I'm 100% taking the like one trick best in the world, like only can do 2 games in that first 2, right? If I know like I have a way better chance of winning the first 2, hell yeah. Even if I drop one, like right, if I have a way better chance, even if I only win one, that's like a guaranteed 1 game at least, and I'm taking that every time.
See, I'm on the opposite. I'm taking somebody who can show up consistently, who I'm going to be able to play with, scrim with, who's going to be there for all 5 games. So that way, if it does go to the end, you're not switching up play styles or you haven't scrimmed with them, etc. So, I can definitely see where you're coming from, but I'm definitely taking the other end on that one.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I think it goes both ways, right? I think it goes both ways. I think you can definitely like bite your like whatever, like shoot yourself in the foot with that. Um, but I'm taking those risks, right? I'm taking those risks. Like if I can get who was like just like a phenom at one point, what was that one jungler like from like way too long ago?
Rain
Or if I
over.
get or yeah, or whoever, yeah. If I get him for like just like half a split or like one game, I'm taking that like every time to give me my advantage, and then I can coast. Like that's all I gotta do. But all right, let's go down. Let's go down, right? Because I also want to get your playoff predictions too. So let's go down towards ADC, right, into that bot lane, and we're gonna just I guess we're just gonna keep flip flopping back, right? Like who ADCs ADCs in this league have I think with the durability patch they're performing much better, right? I think you have a lot more like consistently, especially in team play when you know like your team or like hopefully your team is like doing. I'm a little biased because I'm an ADC main and I know what it feels like to not get peel. Yanks. No, I'm kidding. But but no, right? Like agencies are performing a lot better. Right? You have like some stronger picks that are going into these late games where they really pop off in team fights. Who's like a couple carries that come to mind? I guess we'll start with TLP on this. Who's like a couple carries that come to mind? Like if you like had to choose, right? Like let's like one or two carries that in the league that like I'm taking those two carries.
Okay, so first one, Bally from off the top.
Yep.
Has shown that he can play. He can hyper carry and he can play the supported picks like the Seraphine. Bally.
Yeah. He also doesn't even like to play the Seraphine. He's like,
No, he doesn't. He's like, please ban it so I can play an actual ADC. And like he'll DM you. That's the thing though. He'll DM you. Thank you for banning it. It's crazy. Yeah, Bally, and then it's a tough one because I think unborn quality is cracked, and I also think Marion Cross when he's on, he's on. So like, but for me, it's Bally. Bally is probably best ADC in the league.
Okay, I got that. I think Bali is definitely in my top. I think I agree with you on unborn quality. I'm gonna go with Dread Baron that edges you out a little bit for
100%.
unborn quality, and the other ones I think I'm gonna go with Dread Baron. I think a lot of like I think a lot. I'm gonna be honest. I think a lot of the success from the team, and like no shade to Killbot, right? We like Killbot's crushing in jungle, but I think that's like been like the one consistent role for BDE outside of when like Major was playing. I think Dread Baron in that ADC role as everything else is getting moved around has provided the like little bit of consistency that you need as well as just the ability. Like I think he has like sometimes has he'll get like ahead of himself and like will get caught out when he has the lead. But
Yeah.
I think he can consistently get those leads, and I think that is something that like is like not always doable by a lot of the ADCs in the league. Like I think Dread Baron consistently gets an early game lead, even if he does throw it at some point. The lead is there, and like the potential to like close out is always there.
I think when I 100% agree with you, Goose. Dread Baron, like I said before, 1-2, 2-1. It's kind of a toss up for me. When he's there, if he's not greeting, Steve, stop greeting. Get your money and get out. Like it's not hard, but he's a greedy at mofo, so I get it. And I'm kind of upset with both of you because like TDK, whether or not he's starting, whether or not he's playing, up until now, probably the most flashy, ADC we've had. There was at one point where he was, picking a different champion each game. Like I think in 3 weeks he had 6 or 7 different ADCs in the bot lane. The guy Zeri is cracked. I don't care what anybody says. You can nerf that champion, but the playmaking potential is still there. TDK, Dread Baron, probably best ADCs in the league in my opinion, 100%.
I feel you on that. And as we were talking about the ADCs and like you guys were all bringing up the names, I was like, yo, ADC is actually stacked bro. Like all the ADCs we've named, Unborn, Man Cross, Dread Baron, TDK, like all of them are like crazy. I'm probably doing somebody at Valley, right? I'm doing like
Unborn
but
quality, bro.
not mentioning it.
My honorable mention would be Patrol, even though like it's a lot of Ash play. When they're on something else, they're able to definitely play well and facilitate. But the Ash, unfortunately, I have to admit they did really well when they did the Mordekaiser Ash stuff. even though I don't want to admit it, but definitely an honorable mention for me, Patrol.
All right. Let's head into let's head into the last but not least, right? The actual carries of the team, the supports. And there are two that come to mind, and I'm actually going to start this one off to give you guys some time to really get your thoughts together, right? But number one for me, and this has a lot to do with the fact that we actually called this person out in one of our like rankings, and like exactly what we called them not to do, right? They showed up and performed and like just stunted. Like I was like, that's like the biggest. That is one. If there was an All Star award for the biggest flex of the league, it would be Nifty. We put in one of the like rankings, like the power rankings, like everybody on the team can carry. The only person that we don't know about is like Nifty. But we wouldn't be surprised if like Nifty next week played Pike and went like 20-0, and that's like pretty much exactly what Nifty did, was played Pike and like just carried their team to victory. Like I think like I had like 12 or 7 or like somewhere between like 7 to 10 kills. Like didn't die. Like just literally was like bet. Like I got you. Like a hard bet. Like say no more.
Say less. I agree 100%. Nifty has shown that he puts the money where he puts his money where his mouth is. He shows up when he needs to. He's definitely a role player, but he's also like there. Like if you need him to carry, he will carry. I think he's an extremely big playmaker for that team as well. I mean, but I think the other support you got to mention, um, it's got to be either Adam or Edsa.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank
Adam
you
or
for
Edsa.
finally agreeing with me for Adam. Thank
Adam,
you.
I think Adam is cracked, bro.
Yeah, dude, that dude's so good. Like I mean, yeah, we did call Nifty out. It was kind of crazy that they did that Pike game and like absolutely stunted on everybody. But like Adam, I'm pretty sure like Nautilus, like landing every hook possibly ever, like throwing, definitely like setting up. You know, if you're thinking onboard quality is a good ADC, Adam's the one who's setting him up to do that. So I think that Adam, for me, it would probably be him, or not gonna lie, the Fat Jester, who I guess isn't starting anymore for TD Afterbank.
Super
But
upsetting.
right, yeah, like the Fat Jester for me was like one of those, people who you would always see like at the top of like assist charts. We were always like, I think I was always arguing for them to be on like, the players of the weeks and all this stuff on the power rankings desk. And I don't know what happened, with TDK and Fat Jester and everybody, but TD Afterbank I think is really doing themselves a disservice with Convy and Fat Jester on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're still winning, but I think they definitely. But the thing that's the scary part about them heading into playoffs, right? Is that like even if they do have some roster issues, they have proven replacements. They have TDK still on the roster. They have Dairu showing up. They have Fat Jester and Convey on the bench, just ready to like be like, yeah, like I got this. Like Sejuani had to like leave for like an emergency. Convey stepped in and like just crushed it. But I think support, like right, like back to that support discussion, right? I think this is probably the one where we all agree. I think I would have said Edza and then Adam. But I think they're like both any given Monday, right? Like any given Monday they can show up and like kind of outshine the other. So I'm definitely going like Nifty, Edza, and Adam. I think Nifty mainly just because of that flex, but I think like if it wasn't for that, like Edza would be right up there, or Adam would be right up there. And yeah, they're all like the three of them are like I think that's like the big three of supports right now. Like I think I think there are some that are like close, but I don't think that if I'm picking like I'm drafting anybody other than those three.
Also,
Yeah.
just for the listeners out there, I don't know if it's actually well known or not, but we're talking about Nifty. It is the support of Off the Za Tanaku. It's just an alt account, or an alt account that's listed, just FYI.
Yeah, but
As
the one thing about Adam, um, even though like if you look at his games, like in their losses, you can see that he does die quite a bit, but I think it's just because he is their playmaker. He's the one like he's constantly looking for plays. So like when it works, it looks amazing. And when like so like the fact that he's always looking to make the play to try to get his team ahead, I think is what makes Adam like just a really good support.
yeah, you gotta have somebody to hit that go button to like really enable your team, like keep it
Facts.
pushing. All right, so we broke it down. I think I like want to talk about MVP, but I think I'm gonna save that discussion for a later time. I'm gonna pause on the MVP, right? I wanna let us actually have some time to do a deep dive into like the actual like players and like maybe how many games. So I think it's gonna be hard to be like MVP, and we're talking about people that played like 2 games or something like that. So we're going to hold off on the MVP, but we are going to talk about these playoffs that we got coming up, these best of fives, these starting tomorrow at 8 p.m., right? Starting tomorrow at 8 p.m. Right here on this Twitch, the playoffs are starting for Divinity, where essentially because of the because of the 2 teams dropped, right? Every team right now, whether you were first seed, 7th seed, or 8th seed, you can essentially consider that they're coming in 0-0, right? Like I think that like the league, like something that's been said a lot is that there has not been like this level of actual competition in Dominion League in a very long time, right? Like the actual fact that pretty much any game can any team can take a series or like a game or a couple matches off of any other team makes me excited for these playoffs because I think just because like it's like TD Aftermath and or like well I'm not start with that. I'm gonna start with maybe like TA versus like I actually can't see it because I'm looking at my name on here. Who are they playing right now? Let's see. They're playing Igo, right? I think that's gonna be the stream match, right? I think that's like any game, any person could go. So like I think I haven't done my pick'ems yet. I've been trying to resource as much insider info as I possibly can to see if I can get the perfect pick'em. But TLP, you did do your pick'em. Yanks, you have not done your pick'em, so I think I want to just pick your brains a little bit on like this, just the first round, right? The first round, and then maybe like who wins it all. But like let's go down and like go down the list TLP, right, of like TD Aftermath versus Reaper's Crew, Dorado Gaming Kai versus Off the Za, and like give me like your quick like is it 3-0 who wins, like 3-1 who wins, or let's even start with the TD Aftermath Reaper's Crew. Is it 3-1, 3-2, like who wins this TLP?
So I have TD after bank math, whatever you want to call them, winning 3-1 versus Reaper's Crew.
So you think Jesus Juice takes a game off, and you think Jesus Juice is like has Sejuani Baby Daddy's ticket at some point?
I think game 2. I think game 2 Jesus Juice pops off because they won't respect him. I think that's what
I think it's not actually going to be Jesus Juice that does it. I think Old Man Genetics is going to catch the ADC for TD Aftermath. I think he's going to catch Dire slipping. I think Old Man Genetics came in, I think, partway through and like just like has been like a silent sleeper. Like definitely has some games where it just doesn't rock. But in those games, it's like the entire team looks like they're off. So it's like hard to get going as an agency. But like if their team has like even like a little bit of like that's like the one I look at if it's not Jesus Juice or Raining Wolves. And I think if Jesus Juice 100% at this point, if you're like not focusing Jesus Juice in your draft game plan, then like you're just not even trying. You're like not trying to win. So I think Jesus Juice definitely is going to get targeted. I think Raining Wolves as a secondary is going to get targeted, and I think that's going to open up a little small window for like Old Man Genetics to really like pop off, right? Or DZG Hello, depending on which one of them play. I think they're about the same caliber, but I think Old Man Genetics is going to be. I think the ADC is going to be something that they take at least a game off. I would probably agree. What about you, Yanks?
I think for me, I have my pick'ems done. I haven't posted it. I'm going 3-0 for TD Aftermath. If TD Aftermath does not ban Viego all 3 games, then they haven't done any type of basically scouting or whatsoever. If Viego's banned every single game, praise Jesus Juice, hallelujah, Hosanna in the highest, but the dude's not going to be resurrected or carried. So, I'm going 3-0 TD Aftermath, TD Afterbank. Yeah, 3-0 for sure, 100%.
All right. Let's move on. So we got 3-1, 3-0. I'm gonna go 3-1-2 in TD Aftermath. But let's just go right down the list. To Dorado Gaming Kai versus Off the Za, which is a matchup that we have been waiting for all season. For those who don't know, I'm gonna find a way to watch it. I'm gonna be on the analyst desk. Like I'm gonna like have like Kobe or maybe I can get like a what is it, like a media pass from Daydream to like just spectate the game. Because I've been waiting for this all season, and I need to know which of these teams like actually comes out on top. And in a best of 5, albeit like I'm gonna have like 3 monitors running, like just watching this game somehow.
I'm not gonna lie, throwing it out there real quick, just double stream. Goose and I just cast the DOG off the ZA while the normal casters do Oasis and or is it TAC and Goat, like that right there, in my opinion, is like the playoff finals right there. DOG and off the ZA. It's gonna be a hype match for sure.
I wasn't talking that it came so early, and it definitely came because both teams just like crapped the bed at the end of the season.
Right.
Um, but all right, let's. What do you like? How do we think it like plays out? Right, you got Dorado Gaming Kai looking like a very strong team when they're firing on all cylinders. Off the ZA when they're on cylinders, lights out. And I think both teams coming into the playoffs of like definitely probably did like a little bit of a reality check and was like, yo, let's get our act together coming in here. So like, how does this actually play out to you? And I think I want to start with you, Yanks, here. Right? How does this play out? Like, what's like the score line? Does it go to 5 games? Is it like a surprise stomp? Like, what happens?
I think, and we're talking about a perfect world where everybody shows up for the matches. Like, obviously, we don't know specifically what's going to happen. In a perfect world, everybody shows up. Off the ZA is going to take it 3-2. We haven't seen enough of Off the ZA to like see, oh, like this person's main champ is this person's that. They forfeited 2 games during the regular split. DOG, we've seen them lose to different teams, we've seen them win, we've seen them stomp. I think if they get the right bands, off the ZA, in my opinion, is just this like low key. They're gonna come in and smurf the playoffs, and I really think that I think this is gonna be the match of the playoffs, if not like the whole thing. And I think it's going to be a banger. I'm taking off the ZA 3-2. I'm sorry, DOG. I love you guys, but I gotta respect. I gotta respect the real team.
See the second TLP, but I want to give like a little bit of background because I think I actually skipped over that. But like, so the reason that we're so hype about this right now is because at one point these two teams were like just dominating the entire league. Like both of them untouchable, but they never got to play each other because Off Daza actually just didn't know when the league started, and didn't show up to the first week of their matches when they were scheduled to play Dorado Gaming Kai. So like we were never able to actually see these two teams go head to head in the regular season. But like for the next like probably like 4 or 5, 6 weeks, they like just kind of smurfed on all the other teams that they played for the most part, right? Like they just kind of went ham, especially off the ZA. Like once they came back, they were like, oh yeah, no, we actually are nice. Like I thought maybe they were like just gonna quit out, but that's the reason we're so hyped is because they haven't played each other yet in the regular season, and they were so hyped up during the regular season. But all right, TLP, what are your thoughts? Dorado Gaming Kai, off the ZA, what's the score?
Dorado 3-1.
Ooh, that is
Wow,
spicy.
that is wow.
Whoa.
The yo, that's wild. Yo, you gotta explain a little bit because you were gonna get ground up if you don't give a little bit of reasoning into your thoughts here. Why do you think Dorado's crew just completely kind of like I don't know if it's a stomp, but why do you think Altazar doesn't compete as well?
I don't think it's necessarily that Optazos going to underperform. I just think that Dorado's just going to come out swinging. I definitely think they're going to come out swinging. I think they're going to show up big. And in my opinion, I think it's going to come down to the bot lane. I think Zorinth and Patrol will be able to neutralize. They're not going to give that the opportunity to pop off to Nifty and Bally. I think they're going to be able to neutralize that bot lane. Playing into both of them. That's what I think.
Bally, do you hear that? Do you hear Bally? You're about to be neutralized. I want you to know that that's what's happening. But I can respect that though, because like the thing is like I like am hyping up Bally, but also like Patrolans are like no joke either. They're like really, really good. They're like when they're like the thing is it's like easy to look at Aphron, Solus, and Gumbers because like they like are like the solo lanes and like they're the carries, but like Patrol and Zoran together like as a in tandem, when they're like in sync, they're lights out. They're wild. So like I like don't I like and they got Daydream, right? The coach. I don't know, maybe if they can if they make a run in playoffs, right? Daydream might be coach of the split, right? Unless you want to like maybe look at the changes from TD Aftermath, right? I think Daydream not only coaches them on the Rift, but also off the Rift and like how to just trash talk other teams. So like I think like it's like holistic coaching going on over at Dorado.
Real quick, I just
So
want to
like
say, like, the bot lane for me is not where it's going to be at. I think it's
no shot.
Gumbers, Efron, KKTI, Project Crisis. It is all going to be the mid lane, and which better jungle mid duo is going to be ganking better, who's going to be roaming. I don't think it's going to be the bot lane that does, like, the quote unquote where the action's going to be, where the carry's going to lie. I think it's going to be mid jungle synergy and who's got better time and more experience together.
Yeah, I feel that. I think so. My thoughts on this, and before I move on, my thoughts really quickly because I did just do a lot of hyping up of Dorado Gaming Kai. I think Off Desire still takes it. I think it's gonna be 3-2. Like, I definitely realized I just hyped up Dorado Gaming Kai, only for my opinion to be 3-2 for Off Desire, and I think that's solely because I think KKTI is in a class of his own. I think KKTI is like the player I think KKTI like when he decides to show up, and I think he can actually. I think KKTI is a player that can turn it on or off at will. When they decide to show up, it's like you can't ban this guy. You can't ban him out because like he like performed on like I've never seen a cleaner Lee Sin in a gold league, dog. Like what actually was that? I think he definitely has been getting kind of like the new picks and like the enabling teams, which I think if they do that, then like they're kind of doomed. But if they put KKTI in a position to like carry his team to victory, then there's like I think it's 3-2. And I think it's because KKTI just puts on a lights out performance in like 2 out of 3 games, or like 3 out of 5 games. But all right, we gotta keep it pushing. We gotta keep it pushing because we could probably talk about that for the rest of the night as well. TACW versus AH Goat. We got TACW, likely like arguably the most consistent team in the league, and honestly probably Goat, which is like probably the most inconsistent team in the league. They've been at the top, they've been at the bottom, and they've and also just like their roster, right? There's like a definitive inconsistency with their mid laner not being there. So like that's like different, as well as like other like just roster changes that they've gone through. But I think what we didn't mention for AH which I like feel bad, is that like Glada and Downfall are like actually insane. Like Glada, if Glada gets and like Yanks, like I think you know exactly where I'm going to, like with the Hooved Hero. Like if the Hooved Hero doesn't like get banned, if it makes it through any of the games and it gets picked, it's an instant win every time.
Absolutely. The Lilia, like Glada, I don't know why people don't ban this champion against him. It just like it's one of those mascot things. I'm not even sure like if it's legitimately like a mascot thing or not. But, like the dude gets like Lilia and just wins. Like the team just wins. I don't know why people don't ban it. Do your research, people. Ban champions. Bolty's coming in game 1 and 2. He won't be there game 3, 4, 5 if you guys have to do anything. You guys got to prepare for this. And in my opinion, I'm just saying, like, I'm picking honestly. I'm picking AH Goat 3-1. You talked about the inconsistencies. I'm banking on that, and I'm banking on them high rolling into a win, so that way they win game 2. They game 1-2 win. Volty's in. They lose game 3. Glada pops off on game 4. Boom, done and over with. I think they take it 3-1.
I got some strong thoughts based on what Yanks just said about who wins, but I want to hear Yanks. What do you think? And I'm not Yanks, rap TLP, right? We got the inconsistency from AH Goat, but like the Hoop tier, like Lily, if it gets through for Glada, the jungler for AH Goat, then like it's instant wins. Or like we got the consistency coming out of the Crab Wranglers. And you might even touch on what I'm thinking about a little bit for TACW after Yanks' prediction. But what do you think for like the Adams, the who else is on that squad? Let me just pull that up, right? The Adams, the Unborn Quality, right? Singular Bread, all in there, right? Who do you think is gonna like really like pull that off?
It's definitely Crab Wranglers 3-1, and it's definitely
so opposite one. All right.
Yeah, I'm just I'm against everybody right now. It's TLP versus the world on my predictions. I definitely think it's gonna be if FVR Stubby can, keep downfall on their little island known as top lane. I think Singular Bread and the bot lane can really just take off with this game. I think mid's going to be involved, but I think this game is going to be jungle and bot lanes. I think if onboard quality and Adam can sync up with their jungler, it's going to be it's going to be. I think this is going to be the bloodiest of the quarterfinals games matches.
Okay.
I think it's definitely
So
going to be the
that's like
bloodiest
just
one.
like high kill count.
Yes.
Yeah, but okay, so I know we're on a time restriction here, but I have to ask questions because you guys were hyping up Voltsy, which originally I would rather somebody that's being consistent, but taking that to consideration, he's going to be in there. He's going to be popping off. We know that. You're talking about FVR Stubby, with the meta the way it is, the quote unquote top island, who is he going to go on that's going to be carrying these games? Like, okay, so Renekton, oh, maybe, but you can always play something around that. Shen doesn't really work that well. You can just pick Nocturne and just neutralize them. I mean, what is it that he's gonna You take a random Kled? I mean, it's one of those things. Yeah, top lanes can do well. Aatrox carries, but who is FVR Stubby going to be running into downfall where it's okay, he's going to be carrying the game, popping off. It's one of those things with the meta the way it is right now. You're looking at this champ pool. I just pulled it up. I listed those champions. I only see one real champion that's going to be dominating the whole game. And if you're not really playing Aatrox in any the league, it's what's going on. So I don't see that. I think Voltsy is going to be popping off, and I mean I don't know. What do you guys think?
So I was gonna meme a little bit only because whenever we seem to rank Team Ambition below the bottom half of the league or we doubt them, they usually just come out and just stunt. They just come out and they win the game handily, and it's but then whenever we give them praise, they just fall flat on their face. It's what are we even why are we? It's an emotional roller coaster every time with them. I think I'm gonna agree with you though. I think it's gonna be 3-1 for AH Goat. I think Downfall is just a better top laner than Stubby is. But also, I think we might see LS's favorite champ has been seen a lot, right? We might
Sinners.
we might see the Renekton come out for FBR Stubby too. It's if they can pull that off too, I think Unborn Quality. I think the bot lane for Team Ambition is better, 100%. But I think the top half of the map, with Voltsy, Downfall, and Galata, I think that's going to be enough to just get them through. And I think I don't think Adam and Unborn Quality are going to be enough to pull through for the rest of their team. And that's kind of what I think. But I think maybe we prove wrong, but I think as of right now, I'm going with AH Goat 3-1 as well. All right, but yeah, we got Game of Thrones coming on soon, so we gotta go through this last one, and then we're gonna just do some shout outs and final thoughts on the thing. That way we can make sure Yanks gets to his House of Dragoons.
Don't hate, man. Everybody else out there's got fan just because you're not.
I'm not hating. I'm just saying that's why that's also. I mean, also it's I don't want to. But all right, we got the number 2 seed versus the number 7 seed. Oasis Maelstrom versus Big Damage Energy. And I'm just gonna go out and I'm gonna give my prediction, and I'm gonna get so much shit for it. 3-0 Oasis Maelstrom.
Whoa! Listen, I feel like I'm the most negative, I don't know if I can say this on stream, but douchebaggiest person when it comes to just not caring about anything and just saying how it is. You think it's 3-0?
I think it's 3-0. I think even with the potential return of the Trisco God, I think there just isn't enough synergy between the 5 of them to pull out I think maybe 3-1, but I'm sticking with my 3-0. I think that there just isn't enough synergy between the team. I think there's too many roster shakeups. I think the loss of Dogman was a serious hit with like the drafting. But I think there's just too many kind of question marks around it. I like don't even know TLP. I have no idea what role you're playing tomorrow. I have no clue. Right? Like I think that like that question mark right now. And like the thing is, I don't know any of these things, and I'm in the server. Like I'm in the server. Like and I like see the thoughts. Like that's how like that's what the inconsistency I'm talking about. Right? And I'm not saying I think individually like the entire team are like incredible players. I think as a 5-person roster, I think it's why I also Icy is like their new top laner. Like that's like a whole like another question mark that's thrown into the mix, right? We have no information on Icy, their top laner. The captain ISO is not going to be there, right? Maybe we throw Trisco in and like buy ourselves one game because like he just like pops off. But as much praise as we give Trisco, and I'm going to get shit for this too, but like as much praise as we give Trisco,
don't even say it.
Be careful.
As much praise as we give Trisco, sometimes he can be like too aggressive, right? And that's like what we've seen from a lot of the players, right? Dreadband getting called out, if unless like there's someone to like reel them in and like really make those decisions and be like a guiding voice, I think BDE is going to struggle. That's what I think.
Okay, so I'm kind of like I have to think about how not to say you're completely wrong in a nice way, but with also like realizing like, you know, how much did you drink or do other stuff before you got onto this podcast? Because right now, like I'm questioning your everything I've done with you for the past like 2 or 3 years. I want to first start off by apologizing to BDE for everything that Goose just said. I'm sorry.
From the server.
ISO, like kick him from the server, take him off sub role. Like, I cannot believe this just happened. I'm predicting BDE 3-2 over Oasis Maelstrom. I think that you have a facilitator in in TLP in the jungle. He is going to draw bans. Oasis, if you do not ban Olaf, you will lose. I think that, you know, if Trisco does come back, you can't ban out everybody. You're going to leave champions up. You have to leave Seraphine. You have to leave Senna. You might have to leave Olaf. Like, completely take Icy out of the picture. I don't know anything about the guy. You know, hey, props to you, you know, dude. You know, you're stepping in, subbing or starting role. But like, you have 4 other people that are going to be carrying. And I think TLP and the voice of Killbot. Killbot has so much knowledge of the game. Dread Baron, so much knowledge of the game. If they play, now that's the thing. If they show up, Trisco mid, Dread Baron bot, Killbot, you know, you've got a team that has so much time, synergy. Like, they don't really have to build up much there. I think that they 100%. It's going to go 5 games, unfortunately, but big damage energy is going to beat Oasis Maelstrom. Trisco is going to pop off. You're going to have to ban Aurelia, Echo, you know, Yone, Yasuo, and somebody's going to get whatever champions they want. I 100. I'll say it every time. 100%.
I think that's fair. I think, and the thing is, I'm not saying like BDE is a bad team. I think individually the players are great. I think together they're like not the best. That's what I think. And I think in a best of 5, I think if they like go down 1 or 2 games, I think it's just a wrap from there. I don't think they have the, and like I don't know, right? I don't know how much. I know Killbot and Dread Baron are like crazy good together. I don't know how much Trisco has played with them. I know TLP just joined this season. But like that's what I think. But like TLP, just so we don't go too much, like, right? What are you thinking in terms of BDE versus Oasis? And I hopefully we don't share the same opinion.
Yeah, BDE to the moon. That's all I'm saying. BDE to the moon, but this series is going 3-2. BDE 3-2.
To the moon. All right, I'm trying to get my perfect playoffs bracket, so I gotta get this free skin, or whatever we're getting from the win. So
you ain't getting it by voting BDE 0 wins, my dude. Like, I mean, even in like a realistic world, you don't think in 5 games or 3 games Trisco is gonna pop off. Like, Come on, man.
I said it's possible that he gets one game. I said it's possible that he gets one game.
That's if.
But I think if that game doesn't come, in the first 2 games, then it doesn't happen.
I completely disagree. I mean
That's fair. That's fair. It's a lot of people.
I mean, we could spend all we spend all night on this, but like
I'm about to go back to the frying pan.
Yeah, 100. Like, wait until we go back onto the server, and I'm just gonna tell everybody.
If y'all don't hear from me tomorrow, y'all know what happened. I got beat up by the rest of the BDE squad. But I gotta keep it being on. I can't play favorites here. But all right, we'll wrap that up. We're not gonna go into the rest. We'll talk about semifinals and finals as the things get there, and cover the other stuff. But I think that's gonna do it for us on this. Yo, this was kind of dope, dog. This first episode of the Divinity Proclamations, bringing it back. We're it was fire. I think we did I think it's pretty good. We got some feedback going on. I want to give a couple of quick shout outs as we wrap up, and then I'm gonna pass it to you guys for any kind of final thoughts as well. I want to give a shout out to Mike. Mike also Full Moon Editing on Twitter. He made a dope video of the highlights, and I think he's gonna help us out with some more videos as well. Shout out to Allroom or Kaz Casades, the jungler of Oasis Maelstrom, for that incredible write-up that we're gonna hopefully have up on Twitter, as well as it's already in our Discord. If you're not in the Discord, be sure to join that as well. Wrote up he wrote up a full season recap of every game played in Divinity this far. So if you need some scouting info, go hit that joint up. Make sure you show Aurum in the Discord, or Kai's Cascades, the jungler, some love for that. And then another thing is that if you would like to make content, right, we got a lot of requests for can we do something like this for Gladiator? Can we do something like this for
Conqueror.
Why am I forgetting Conqueror? Right? Can we create more content? And the answer is yes. However, we can't do it with just our small ND content team that we have, with only about 20 weeks of collective development experience. So if you are interested in making content, right, just shoot me a DM at the Discord, right? If you wanna make emojis for the Twitch, if you want to make videos, if you want to write some written content, if you making memes, if you have an interest in content in any sort, we will find a way to utilize your interest in your skills. So definitely hit me up with that. But that's gonna be my shout out to Fort and Sims as well, holding it down the entire season. Shout out to Batman for putting all this stuff together for the Divinity League. And all right, that's all my shout outs. Yanks, TLP, final thoughts before we wrap up here and go watch some Dragons.
Absolutely. Real game tomorrow is DOG off the ZA. I'm hopefully going to be spectating that while we're watching the stream match. BDE, you the real ones, hold it down, try to get a back-to-back championship. Trisco, don't listen to Goose. He has no clue what he's talking about. He had too much ZA. And I hope everybody enjoys the content that we do. I personally, I don't know about everybody else, but I enjoy feedback constructively. So even if you're telling us hey, I think you should do this, somebody in the chat said, hey, you should probably put this up, that works. No flame. Obviously that doesn't really work too well with us, but just keep the feedback coming, so that way we can, provide you with a better product.
Got you. Definitely get that feedback. And TLP, final thoughts before you curse me out once we go off air.
I'm all I'm gonna say is, all you doubters, you're gonna feel the wrath of this BDE, bro. That's all.
That sounds like a different BDE than Big Damage Energy, but I'm not gonna. That sounds like.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
Ain't right.
Y'all just better ban Olaf. That's all I'm gonna say, because I'm coming for each and every single one of y'all.
Well, that's going to do it for us on the first episode of Divine Proclamations. Hopefully, we can do this again next week after the first round of playoffs, which are tomorrow night, Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Titan Esports Twitch. I am joined on this podcast, as well as Analyst S as well, sometimes by the notorious TLP and Twitterless Yanks. My name's Goose. That's going to do it for us, and we're out.
We out, boys. Later.
We out. Later.